If you want the run uncut, unapologetic from the jump. And no politics in this club, just dirt from the streets and the creeks in the mud. Best podcast for the Seahawks, #1 sports talk, yeah, we got it on live. Every episode 12 hot takes, and we reppin' for Seattle, my place.
It's the Take 12 podcast. I started talking, but my mute button was still on. The rhythm was all off. Well, let me try it again. It's the Take 12 podcast. Brought to you proudly by Wiener Schnitzel, 2 locations, Western Washington and Fife. I whistled while I said it. That's how delicious it is. I just whistled again on the word delicious. Are you hearing this? What is happening? Go on in, tell them we sent you. The Take 12 podcast is hosted by me, Brett Davern, and him, Lofa Tatupu. Woo! Welcome to the show. Our guest on this episode will be joining us midstream, and so I'll give you a few clues instead of just outright telling you who it is. Lofa, you already know, so don't ruin it for everybody.
Okay.
But you could act surprised if you want to flex those acting muscles some more, Mr. Wayne's World 2. Our guest on this episode, 6'4", 202. That's what's listed on Wikipedia anyway. Born in Gaffney, South Carolina. Went to South Carolina. And,
that's a giveaway.
And was drafted in 2007 in the second round.
There you go.
And has 30 touchdowns all time. In the league, that is, NFL-wise. Because I'm sure he's got a lot more touchdowns if you go all the way back to Pee Wee, probably.
For sure.
Wouldn't you say, Lofa? Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
You imagine this guy in Pee Wee back in the day?
Oh, got to be one of the best players on the field. He was when he was in the league.
Well, we'll let you guys know the name of said player when he joins the stream in a little bit. Lofa, the Seahawks, they proved victorious over the Washington Commanders, a score of 29-26. We have scoured our score predictions and nobody nailed it. We think that a prankster put one in right after the final buzzer went off.
That was very late.
Yeah,
We're going to have to throw the red flag and review that shit.
Very late. Very, very late. But yeah, so 29-26, a win is a win is a win. A lot of stuff happening in this game. Let's start on the defensive side of the ball, Lofa, or just your thoughts in general before we get specific on the defense. I mean, what'd you think about watching this game? Hold on, I can't even take over for me, please.
Yeah, I was speechless as well. We were shutting shit down in the first half.
Yeah.
You know, they looked great, came out. They couldn't run the ball on us. We were competitive, fighting for all those third downs, and they did end up being like close to 45, 50%, which is not ideal, but that's what led to the little comeback at the end. Yeah, guys look good. They were competing. I think, and then, this is the 7th straight week we talked about him. Boye Mafe.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Yeah, franchise record.
So he is now the outright owner of that record. Congrats to this kid. It's, like I said, a kid that was kind of overlooked in that great class that we had a year ago. And man, with Chenna going down, he's been our leading pass rusher. And he came off a great stunt. This is where, like, Leonard Williams, who also got a sack, shout out to Leonard.
Yes.
Came off a tech stunt, so tackle and then the end around. Or it could have been just a natural, is what they call it. They naturally fall into that those pass rush lanes. And it was beautiful. And, he didn't, that's one where you're going right at the quarterback and, you don't get the penalty because there was helmet to helmet, a little, collision there. So just staying clean there. And it was awesome, man. This, like I said, I don't know what the limit is now. Is he a 15, 17 sack guy? I said in years to come, probably 10 to 12, but I don't know where the ceiling is now. It's been unbelievable. So shout out to him. And then my man, BT Jordan, who we hired as a pass rush specialist. They really put it together for him.
Yeah, totally. How about the rush defense, right? We were concerned coming in. We were talking about it with the guy who it was Anthony Armstrong.
Robinson and Gibson.
But I'm just saying we held them down a little. I mean, we held them down. 8 carries, 38 yards for Robinson. Gibson, 4 carries for 13 yards. He had the nice catch on the touchdown and all that for him. But rushing wise, we did well. We did better than well. We were awesome. We're back to our old ways, aren't we?
We were for about 3 quarters.
Oh.
And, in the fourth, I mean, it was just 2 rushes. They were back to back, and it was the same exact play. And I think this is something that new coordinators have gotten away with or gotten away from. Back in my day, if a team had a successful play, they ran that shit over and over until you called a timeout and fixed it. But even after coming out of the timeout, they would run the same play just to see if you got it fixed.
That's how I play Madden, dude. I just flip it, run it again.
I think sometimes we overthink this, if it's working, just keep going with it. And so it was just, you're not going to be able to run against Jaron Reed, Draymond Jones, and Leonard Williams on the inside. And then you got Bobby and Jordan right behind them. Like, it's just, there's no ground to be gained there. So I think what we're going to start seeing is more of this outside stretch, outside zone running game from other teams.
Yeah. Well, can you stop the run in the first quarter? Yeah. Can you stop the run in the second quarter? Yeah. But we got to stop it for all 4. Come on now. And if you're gonna, don't start giving it up at the end. That's all I'm saying. Come on now, guys. What else? How about the secondary? How about Spoon, man? All over the field.
I mean, every week.
Yeah.
Every week he does something. Every game he does something, whether it's a big hit or the effort. And that's what I know Pete's showing on the big screen, today, is he'll take, some of the best effort plays. And I know a lot of fans are probably like cringing when, Sam Howell turns the corner and then he kind of drags Spoon for about 5-6 yards, but Spoon was fighting for that ball the whole time. And then right as you're going down, this is what we're kind of coached, that's where guys start worrying about, okay, where am I going to land? He landed right on top, I think, Quandre, and they just Spoon ripped the ball out, and that was big, man. That was our only turnover of the game, and then we didn't give up any, so that was huge.
Yeah. Bobby Wagner adds half a sack to his illustrious career. Also 4 solo tackles and then 4 assists, and I mean, just doing what he does. It's just so great to have him back. It just, man, we need that Men in Black device for that 1 year with the Rams, the memory thing,
just
right?
To erase the memory.
Let's just forget. I mean, really, just forget it ever happened, because it just looks so right in a Seahawks uniform. Defense just, I mean, doing their thing, man. It was awesome to see. But the fourth quarter, I mean, things got wacky. What happened there at the end? And the touchdowns that they had, even some of the early ones, like, we're not really used to seeing our defense, like, not really touch guys as they sort of run down the field like that. What's up?
Those are 2 blown plays, and it was like the same play to the exact same guy on the left sideline. It was maddening because we were bringing pressure opposite, from the quarterback's right side. So he sees it, he escapes to the left. Both plays, they looked identical to Robinson up the left sideline. The first one he housed because he's a special talent, and the second one, luckily we were able to get him out of bounds late. But that's stuff that if we're in coverage, because we were dropping our DNs. I think the first time it was Mafe. Second time I think it ended up being Draymond. You have to know that, hey, man, like, I know the quarterback's right there. I got to stay with my guy. And so it's just, like I said, two blown coverages, which guys are not used to being in that position. It was a perfect storm for them, man. I don't really fault anybody, like, in terms of, even play call. It's just coincidence.
The touchdown late in the fourth quarter, Jamal was just beside himself after that. There was like a camera shot of him just sort of like, why? What happened on that? Why was he so upset?
It was a 3rd and 10. I thought Washington did us a favor by they were huddling. I was like, yo, this is their last possession. They had all 3 timeouts, but they did us a favor by not going up tempo, because now we can relax and kind of focus on the play at hand instead of like, okay, well, what personnel do we have in? But on that one, 3rd and 10, there was nothing in the middle, nothing over the middle. So that means if there's nothing in front of me, all the shit is behind me. So you got to get depth. And like, I don't know if it was Julian and Brooksy, but they were a fingertip away from hitting that ball. And Howell, he stood tall in that pocket. He delivered a strike to Diami Brown. That was a great catch and run by that kid. But we got to know, if like there's nothing underneath, just get back past the sticks, because it's easy to run downhill and go forward. If you have to backpedal, you're in trouble. These guys are too good athletes. And as soon as they catch it, he took off.
Mm-hmm.
No one even touched him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously Jamal's upset by the touchdown that was scored against him, but I didn't know if he was, someone was supposed to be somewhere they weren't or something like that or whatever.
I didn't see Jamal's reaction. All
okay.
I saw was, we were a fingernail away from tipping that ball.
Man,
and,
I always see Jamal's reaction, no matter if it's positive or negative, right? I love the personality he plays with.
He had some great hits yesterday. He got bumped on that first broken play because he was running in for the sack, and the guard did a good job of just knocking him off of his track. But I love watching him play. Big hits. He had one on the tight end, just trying to set the tempo, set the tone. And that's what you really got to do.
Yeah. I'm trying to delay us talking about our offense to give our guest time.
Special
here.
teams.
But yeah, so let's go to special teams. Let's go there. But also defensively, but for their defense, how about the ejection early? I just wanted to get your thoughts. Right when it happened, I thought I have to ask Lofa about this. I don't know if you want to do it here or get our guest perspective as well, which we always could do. But just, I don't know. I mean, the hit was obviously a big hit on Lockett, and you never want to see that. And we love Tyler and all of that. But the ejection, did you feel like that was appropriate there?
That was not warranted. I thought, it was a football play. Just, it happened, and it wasn't like it was malicious or he's like, okay, I'm just going to take his head off. When this is the problem with all these, hits that they're trying to say, oh, he was trying to take him out. If someone's got you on the tracks lined up, with the target on you, that he was in space, he looked, surveyed, saw Lockett coming across. And, if anything, that's probably more on the quarterback than it is on the defender, hanging him out to dry like that. And I know Gino thought he had time and could get it in there, but I want, speaking of acting skills,
okay,
I want to turn it over to, it was a hard hit.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Lockett take way worse.
Yeah.
And, I think
he's trying to get a flag probably. I don't think he's looking for an ejection, but
no, he wasn't. To draw the flag though.
Yeah.
Just the little hand to the head.
Yeah, why not? Of course. Come on.
I love
now.
it.
Yeah.
Give that man an Oscar.
Why? Of course, yes. Please do. And they all do it. And it happens in every sport. I mean, come on, LeBron. They have to make rules in the NBA about flopping. I think Tyler, he's trying to get the flag there. But the ejection, and they said the ejection came from New York watching the film. So they thought it was serious enough for that. So
they'll find any way to throw a fine at you because that kid's going to get like a $50,000 fine that he'll appeal down to 25, or hopefully if it's his first offense, they'll just chalk it up and rip it up. But yeah.
Well, these fines, I mean, dude, there's Seahawks that are going to get fines from this game for stuff that we don't even notice or that the telecast didn't even pick up. And I read on Twitter all the time about so-and-so got sort of nickel and dimed for this or that or this or that. What can you tell? Where do those fines go? Do you know? Does anyone know?
I don't.
What?
Good question.
Yeah,
we got to get McNasty on the case.
Wait, yeah, McNeil, for real. We should do some investigative journalism here because there's so much money in the I read, like you just said, you throw out $50,000. Are you kidding me? That's a fine. That's more than people make in a year. And then where does that go? Does it go to a charity or does it just go to Goodell?
Oh, there he is, McNasty.
McNeil. Our conspiracy theorist. It does?
They probably just repurpose that money into fines and then into everything else.
More ads for their Move program or something?
More Taylor Swift posts.
Huh.
Well,
I don't know.
We'll get to the bottom of it and have that for you on another episode.
Yeah, man. Well, I just feel like that pot has to be huge every year. Where is all that money going? I don't know. Anyway, I feel like the ejection was – I felt like I was like, an ejection? Really?
Yeah,
I feel like I see that play all the time.
That was one of the best corners, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks for them. I wasn't very upset with it other than being a defensive player that thinks they're just a little too harsh on the rules right now.
Okay, on to special teams then. Hit me with some special teams. Let's do it.
Do you want some special teams?
I do.
Okay. Well, let's start with our captain, Nick Bellore. Just laying the absolute dog shit out of that one returner. It was amazing. He didn't even get credit for it. And then I got a video clip that we'll post later of him celebrating it. I have to get his okay first. But it's hilarious. So when the camera panned away, I thought the hit was so hard and so loud. I thought he messed his shoulder up because I just saw him on the ground, but he was doing like the worm on the ground.
What were you on the sideline?
I can't reveal my sources or how I get the information I'm privy to. All right. I can just tell you that I have it.
Okay, fine. Jeez.
So shout out to Nick Ballore.
Okay.
Michael Dixon, 4 punts, average of 45.1. Bless you. One inside the 20. Just amazing, right?
Yeah.
And then not to mention those 5 beautiful holds he had on the long snaps for those 5 field goals.
How about the long snapper? Yeah.
Yes.
Hit me with the long snapper.
That was where I was going next.
Okay, go.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. And like generally, no one gives you any credit until shit goes wrong.
Yeah, it's a thankless
job.
Still
no credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thankless
It is a thankless job. Yep.
John Radigan, one of our amazing servicemen. It was salute to service, right?
On Veterans Day weekend, absolutely.
Yeah, had a tackle on a kickoff, which the statistician did not give him credit for. He pushed Gibson out of bounds, so I'm gonna have to send in a letter to appeal that. And then Jason Myers, 5 for 5. I think it was 33, 43, 43, 45, and the other one was another 40-something yarder. Those are not easy kicks.
No.
And we needed every last one of them.
And it was kind of nasty, rainy, cold, gray.
Yeah. And man, and he crushed them all. So shout out to special teams and Izzo, our fearless leader.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had my question marks for Jason Myers when it goes wrong, but we got to give him his praise, especially there at the end. Come on, game winner. It's fun no matter who you're playing.
And I think he bettered his own record of consecutive field goals made. So just everyone just getting their record one more or two more better.
Nice. But there you go.
Yeah, he would have probably given you like 25 points if you still had him on your fantasy league.
I know. I should have kept him the entire time. Whoa. Hold on. We're hearing everything. Hold on. Katie, you're talking. We can hear you talking. Katie, for some reason we can hear you talking. Hang up the phone. I'll say hi to Sidney. He's in the. Oh, whoops! I guess I just gave it away. But
there goes the surprise.
I'm not sure if he can hear us or we can hear him.
I don't think he can.
But this is the fun of doing a live podcast. Sidney, can you hear me? No. Oh my gosh. As usually happens, we're having technical difficulties. Our guest, everybody, will be again, Sidney Rice, beloved Seahawks, Super Bowl champion, just absolute beast, friend of ours outside the show, friend on the show. And so we'll try to get that figured out and have him on sometime real soon, perhaps in person. And we could do that by flying on Delta Airlines, producer Katie, couldn't we?
Yeah, we sure can.
Oh, sorry, you need a microphone.
Yeah, we sure could. Delta Airlines sponsors the Take 12 podcast.
Sorry. Keep going. You ever, Lofa, like, when your mom was like really mad, but then she'd take a phone call in the middle of being mad and she'd be like, hello.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, hey.
Sorry, Katie, keep going.
Geno Smith got 369 yards yesterday. And if you were signed up for 12 status through Delta Airlines, you could have gotten 369 additional miles through Delta Airlines.
Hell yeah.
And it's really easy to sign up. Just go to 12status.com and enter your information.
Totally. You get 12% off at the team store on the 12th of the month and priority boarding when you're flying on Delta. It's the only airline we fly. Fly Delta, everybody. Lofa, we were holding off talking about offense, but now we must talk offense. Geno, rough start, but come on. Like, what's with the Geno haters? He's 31 of 47 for 369, 2 touchdowns, and we won the game. He took us on a game-winning drive. The Seahawks are 6-3. We are what our record says we are, aren't we? And Geno's responsible for that. So kick rocks, Geno haters, to borrow a line from Lofa. Right, Lofa? Come on.
And 0 turnovers.
Yeah.
Do you like that sort of thing?
I love that sort of thing.
Yeah, it just it's kind of alarming, all the hate that's being like spewed in his direction, because it's never one guy. And as I mentioned, if you listen to us, and if you don't, you should, but we faced the number 1 and 2 defense in consecutive weeks. I mean, that's not going to be easy. Could he have played better? Of course. He would say it too. And even this game, 369, 2 touchdowns. Was it perfect? No. He's got some things you got to shore up. But I thought we did a great job of mixing it up. I've been talking about it for weeks, that if you just get the ball in Kenneth Walker's hands in space, great things will happen. And what did we see? A fucking check down go for 64 yards for a touchdown.
Absolutely.
That's how dangerous he is. And so, like, love Lockett, love JSN. These little quick screens, can you imagine if you got K9 or even Charbonnet taking those and going? Because, like, first of all, no one's catching them. I don't know how many people want to hit them with the way they're running either.
Dude, I was talking to one of my crazy Seahawk fan friends. We all have those. It wasn't McNeil, though. It was a different crazy Seahawk fan friend. And after the game, and he's just complaining about Geno the whole time. And I finally just interrupted him. I said, listen to me. If that game you just watched was the Super Bowl, we'd be Super Bowl champions. What are you complaining about? A win is a win. Shut up. Like, we're 6-3. Leave me alone. Just stop complaining. If we were 3-6, this conversation would be appropriate. We're 6-3. We went on a game-winning drive. That's what you want.
That's what everybody has to keep in mind.
Yes.
Is like, holy shit, if you're complaining right now and we're a half game out of first, like, what would it be like if we were at the bottom of the league, of the division? So it's unnecessary. It's unwarranted. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. DK, we talked about him having more catches than he would have had in the last game, and he certainly did that. 7 catches for 98 on 12 targets. Tyler Lockett, 8 for 92, and Kenneth Walker with the big one, like you said. JSN looking quick. I mean, I don't know. I liked it. I like what I saw. Let's talk about the running backs, though. Kenneth Walker, 19 carries. Lofa, do you like that? How do you like that?
Abso-fucking-lutely. That is, I told you, that's what we need to do with this. Only 1 catch, but his total of touches was over 20, or at 20 with 19
right at
and
20,
1
yeah.
reception. But 60 plus yards on the ground and through the air. Unbelievable. Like, this kid's a star, and we need to utilize him more.
You know who else is a star? Charbonnet, dude. And the way that he finishes runs, I love this guy.
Okay, so absolutely. But the 2 runs up the gut, both for first downs. It's like, okay, if they don't call a timeout, I'm doing that shit all the way down to the end zone.
Again and again, like, and again and again.
Because, I mean, there was that draw play. We've seen it over the years, and it's just, for some reason, when we get to the second level with our line and, annoy those linebackers, we've had more. They're going to make even a special D tackle like Payne and Allen. They're going to find a way to get by them with their speed. And then when they're untouched for 5 or 6 yards, both of these guys are hell to bring down by yourself. As the, Commanders found out the hard way. But so I don't, we did do some gap trap, which means, pulling and making the gaps responsibilities change. And that, to a lot of linebackers, that fucks them up. So I did like the mix of the power and other, runs we were utilizing. Thought maybe we could have went off tackle a little more. That same run that Washington used against us to get the edges, that's where I thought we'd be, most successful, because they got Payne and Allen in the middle. Those guys are monsters. It was similar to like what we have on defense in the middle. Like, it's going to be a hard day running inside, but the two or three draws that we ran were, 2 first downs, two or three first downs.
And for all of you Bobo fanatics out there, if you're keeping track at home, he had 2 receptions for 13 yards. So
yeah, second one was nice. First down.
The Bobo Mojo lives.
Disley got in on the action.
Oh, yeah, he did.
On that screen. Looked like there was nothing to be had, made it happen. But Lockett's touchdown.
Yeah.
That throw and catch.
Yeah.
That poor DB was right there all over him. And it's tough. You got the back pylon, you got the front pylon. Either one's a touchdown, and you just don't know if he's going to put air on it and they're going to go over the top, or he's going to hit that quick comeback and Lockett getting his knee down and his feet inbounds. Insane. DK
hold on just for a second. Okay. That touchdown to Lockett, that catch by Lockett, first of all, in the corner, the low and away throw, the throw by Geno. That's the throw. That's the play right there that I just want to, run on a loop to all the Geno haters. Like, I mean, come on, that's what you want late in the game when you need it the most.
What I want to throw on a loop is a 2 to DK in crunch time.
Yeah.
When you got to have it.
And how about DK fighting for the extra yards, which I was counting down the ticks on the clock. Luckily, he had enough.
Time.
Yeah, no, he had enough. I know.
Even the announcer, Sanchez was going crazy. You got to get down. Okay, get down and make it a 55, 60-yarder. No.
True.
That's a typical quarterback. Fight for the yards if you have time, which we did. Like, we were still 8 seconds when everybody was set up and ready to snap that ball. Mm-hmm. So,
listen, I love DK, but I've watched his whole career so far, and sometimes when he fights for extra yards, I get nervous about the ball, but everything was okay there, so it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just those 2 big catches, and then Myers caps it off. But the only thing where Geno haters have have a leg to stand on here is the sequence before the half where we got to come out of there with 3 points. And we get the 10-second runoff because, I mean, you got to get rid of the ball. There's only 12 or 13 seconds when we snap it. You got to get rid of the ball, and you can't take a sack because we have no timeouts. I'll give you that if, for all the haters out there, if they want to, he didn't play well. Yeah. He didn't play well. We had 369 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Right.
What's that tell you? When this shit is rolling, I said, I'll admit, I'm a man. I admit when I was wrong. I said he was going to throw for 400. I was wrong. All right. I'm sorry.
Close enough. Yeah, case closed. Take that, Geno haters. Moving on. Lofa, did you watch any other football over the weekend? What else did you see? I mean, San Francisco waxed the Jaguars. I mean, are they back? Are the Niners back?
It was a win that they needed, and it didn't matter if it was pretty or ugly, but it was pretty decisive, man. They beat the dog shit out of Jacksonville. They could do pretty much anything they wanted. Kittle had a big day. Debo coming back. I mean, his reverse run for a touchdown. McCaffrey did not get the NFL record on a day where a lot of records were to be had for all organizations. Unfortunately, I think he stopped at 17. But that dude's a beast.
Yeah.
The other game I watched 2 other endings. The Ravens, they looked like they were steamrolling, and it was like almost a mirror image of what happened to us. And somehow, some way, Cleveland found a way to get some turnovers, a touchdown, and fight back into it. And the guy that missed the extra point, he came back and made the game winner. That was a wild ending. That's a tough division. That's the best division in football.
How about our opponent upcoming in a few weeks here? The Cowboys just destroying the Giants. And with the Giants, poor Tommy DeVito.
The poor Giants, man. Yeah. It's a long season. Right. Long season when it's going like that. Dallas looks good. But the other, CJ Stroud. Oh my God.
Yes.
I think he went into Cincinnati. I think he was on the road, and he's so poised back there, and he's got a cannon for an arm. And shout out to him and D'Amico Ryans and how quickly, I mean, it's only half a season, but you got a quarterback playing like that. I don't care. The fact that he's a rookie, I think he's got like 800 yards in the last 2 games. Unbelievable.
Yeah. That's all I got for this episode. You got anything else before we get out of here and wrap this thing up?
Josh Dobbs did it again.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
And I picked him up in one of my fantasy leagues.
It's the best story in the NFL so far this year from a human interest point.
Wait till Justin Jefferson gets back.
Oh.
They don't even have Justin Jefferson yet. And so I thought, because I've gotten a lot of trade requests, like they were going to give me Justin Jefferson. But I was like, talk to me before the deadline, because I was wondering if they were seeing if Dobbs can pull off 2 or 3 wins, which he has. He's got 2 wins so far since being there. Then they'll probably activate Justin Jefferson, but otherwise they probably would have shut him down for the season for the last half if they didn't win these last few games.
What's going to happen when Josh Dobbs finally learns the playbook?
Right?
Yeah.
God help us all.
Hey, how about the Cardinals, though, beating the Falcons?
I didn't even know they played.
Yeah. 25-23 over the Falcons.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's back, right?
Bird on bird. Yes, he is back, and so victorious in his first start back. There you go.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm. That's it for the Take 12 podcast today, everybody. Hit us up on all social media at Take 12 Pod. You can also watch video versions of the show on YouTube. And also, and there's like fun short clips on there, all kinds of things. Go check out what McNeil is putting up on YouTube, everybody. Comment, subscribe, smash that subscribe button. Thanks to Wiener Schnitzel, Delta, Epic Seats, and Simply Seattle. We'll be back later this week to talk about the upcoming matchup with the Rams. Lofa, hands up, hands in the middle. Break us down, big guy. Come on.
You got this one.
Oh, every time. Man, I don't know. Something from the... you know what? Since sometimes I come after him, but he won it for us, we'll have to give it to him. Let's go. You know, Lofa, I know how your relationship with kickers is rocky, but let's go with Jason Myers on 3, Jason Myers on me. Come on now. Let's give him some love. 1, 2, 3. Jason Myers.
Myers.
See you next time.
5 for 5.